Hello, boys and girls, and all those in between. Welcome to Bitch Talk with Bitchcock. I am your one and only host, Maliena Bitchcock. Well, I'm so happy to announce that she's so beautiful, she's so talented, as a special guest, the beautiful Nichole Sereine Storm. Hey!
Hello, insert applause, because I live for the applause. Applause, applause.
Okay,
How you doing, girl?
So are you surviving quarantine over there, girl?
Girl, I'm not only surviving, I'm like working. I am considered essential, which means I have to go in every single day to work. Isn't that great?
Oh my gosh, it's scary at times. Like what kind of work environment do you work in at this time?
Girl, can I pause you before we get into the work environment and get me a drink? Because
Yeah.
Lord knows I'm a new one if we're going to start talking about this quarantine. She's like, we're going to start right off the bat, so 1 second.
Ooh, she's ready.
She is ready. I have a shaker. It's a mess.
Yes, I love a girl that's ready to drink.
Girl, you have no idea. This is my day off. Everyone else has to stay home, which I applaud them for staying home. But, ooh, we got some. Alrighty.
Ooh, she looks like she's ready. That looks delicious.
Hold on, I can't hear you over the luscious drink pouring into my glass. Okay. So I have to go into work every day, which is good because my job is important and I do it for all the peoples. But girl, if you don't have to work, stay at home, do your business, do what you're supposed to. But I have to work 10-hour days. I have to wear a mask the entire time I'm working. I work in the veterinary hospital. So we're still doing everything. We're doing our part to stay safe, but it is not fun. So everybody who knows people that are working, everybody who knows people that have to go into work, give them some love, give them some extra attention, because some people are I've seen people oh, you get to go to work. It is not easy to go to work right now. It is hard. It is rough. It is stressful. People are leaving. So if anyone's watching and they have to go, your partner, significant other, when they get home, give them a back rub, give them a blowjob, do something, because you don't want to be working right now. If you can stay home, it sucks, but working is also scary. You're you have to meet with people because you don't have a choice. But all those people that are being supportive at home, give them a blowjob when they get home.
Oh my God, you're so naughty. I totally agree, though, that, there's a lot of people that still are out there working right now, even with, things being shut down. We have grocery store workers, nurses, veterinarians. Everyone still has to go out there and make a living. And there's some jobs we can't just close down right now. So we need to support them and send them lots of love and energy their way, because it, like Miss Beautiful Nikki said, it's a hard situation to work in this day and age right now.
Yeah, it's hard staying home, and it's harder going to work. Trust me.
Yeah, and I also, get it, girl.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's not fun for anybody. So people who don't understand when people have to go to work, they think that's a good thing. It's not necessarily a good thing. It's what we all have to do. We're all playing our roles. We're all playing our parts. But, definitely applaud everybody at the grocery stores, like you said. You said it great.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into the bulk of the interview. I'm so excited that you're here on Bitch Talk and that we get a chance to actually dive deep into the life of Nichole Sereine, because you're a bad bitch.
We have never diving deep before. This will be a first.
Oh, honey, you've gone deep before. I know you have.
Only on days that end in a Y.
Well, bitch, let's get this going. So why don't you tell me a bit about your first time in drag?
Ooh, okay. So, my first time in drag, I like to say that I'm not competitive, and the only reason I'm not competitive is because I always win. The first time I was ever in drag, I actually, full-time drag performance in front of audience. It was actually a competition. I never performed before. My first opportunity was they call it Drag Idol. It was at a bar in Eugene that shut down now called Diablo's. You remember that place, right?
Oh yeah, I love Diablo's.
Yeah, you spent all your time downstairs. We know. They had some shady shit going on downstairs. Can I say the S word?
Oh, you can cuss all you want. I love it when you cuss.
Okay, well, you did some shady shit downstairs, I'm sure, at Diablo's. But no, I entered a competition. There was 3 of us. I happened to win. So that was my first competition. Like, my first time in drag was a competition, and I won. And ever since I did that, my head just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it never stopped. So I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my gosh. So, well, let's talk about that first time. You are such a beautiful creature now. Were you as beautiful the first time you got in drag?
God, no. But I thought I was everything. I think every drag queen puts on makeup for the first time. They think they are the tea. They think no one knows what they're talking about, and they can't be told. And I was the same way. I thought I was everything. I was like looking at myself, and I was like, am I straight? Because damn, what I look like right now is everything. Well, let me tell you, I see pictures now, and I'm like, girl. So no, I definitely did not look fierce, but I thought I looked good. I did I got all of, so I used to call, Cynthia, she used to work at Hot Topic. She used to dress me. I would go into Hot Topic, and Cynthia would find me. I wore like a little crop top. I had like one wig that I wore every day, like every day. Like I look like Aiden from RuPaul. I wore one wig for every look. And that's what I did. And I thought I looked good. I did Poison Ivy, and I thought Uma Thurman couldn't touch me. But Uma Thurman wouldn't want to touch me, and she's Poison Ivy, so.
Oh, she was my favorite Poison Ivy, too. I mean, she was so awesome in that movie.
Is there anyone else?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, the original Batman series, there was a Poison Ivy in there.
Oh, I might be too young.
Yeah, you're too young, honey. I'm an old folk. That's how I know about it. So
I was like, Uma Thurman, Batman Forever, whatever it is. All
yeah.
that, I had a crush on Robin.
Oh,
Robin was cute.
yeah. Oh, yes, he was, especially in that sculpted leather. Yeah.
She tore those lips off after like kissing him, and I was like, ah, give me those lips.
Well, girl, how long have you been performing?
I'll just say my age because I'm proud of it. I'm 28 now. I started dabbling with makeup when I was 20, and then that was like right before I started like performing. So I was like 20, but like a month later I turned 21. And like I said, the first thing that came up was a competition, and I was so eager, and I was like, let's just do this competition. Never performed before, but we're gonna do it. So I've been performing since I was 21. Proud of it.
Fierce. I love that. And tell me a little bit about the character that is Nichole Sereine.
You will never know what you're gonna get from me. And that's what I love about being artistic. That's what I love about everything is like, there are gonna be days where you're gonna come out and see a Nichole Sereine show, and I'm gonna be in a leotard and thigh highs, and I'm gonna serve attitude and fierceness. And then there are days where you're gonna come out and I'm gonna be wearing a full-fledged gown, looking like, I don't know, like I just bought a yacht and I have no business buying a yacht. So it really just depends on how I'm feeling. And that's one of the reasons why I hate turning in music early, because there are days where I'm like, I want to look elegant and beautiful. And there's days where I'm like, I want to put on my black fishnets and like look ratchet.
But are there days where you want to be a total clown and look like me? No, not at all.
I think you do you wonderful. You know I love you to pieces. But no, I can't do what you do. You do what you do perfectly. I can't do what you do.
But to be fair, I can't do what you do. You know, I've tried so many times to do like realistic makeup and try that glamour makeup, and it just doesn't look right on me. And I think what you do is beautiful also, and I envy what you can do.
Oh, girl, don't envy me. I love what you do. I love that I do me, you do you, and Steva does her, and Cress does her, and everybody does them. And if we all look the same, like, why would people care? Like, why would you go to a drag show if everybody looked like cookie cutter? Like, don't envy me. Don't ever envy me. I don't want anyone to ever envy me. If they look up to me, if I inspire them, that's great. But when people look at me, I want them to do one of two things. I want them to be intimidated by me, or I want to inspire them. If you don't like me, you're intimidated. If you like me, you're inspired. There's no in between. Pick one.
I always just want to run up to you and hug you.
Always, girl, give me a hug.
So
I am genuinely more introverted anyway. So like when extroverted people, I mean, I don't know what you consider yourself to be. You appear extroverted when you're out and about, which I love.
Maliena is an extrovert. Jamie's an introvert.
Very much so, yes. Your husband is very introverted, but he's the nicest person. He's so sweet. He's very thoughtful. He's always writing or like drawing.
He's an artistic one. I love him.
Is he drawing?
He draws, he writes, okay. He reads a lot. I mean, he does draw and do a lot of sketching.
So you're both out there reading. He's just reading. You're reading people.
Usually I just try to give him a little copy of Karma Sutra so he learns something too.
I don't know what that means.
Well, speaking of being inspired, as you were talking about a minute ago, tell me a little bit what inspires your drag. Are there any strong women, celebrities, or icons that have really inspired you?
Oh, absolutely. As my drag changes, so do my inspirations. My name is Nichole, and I named that person off of Nichole Sereine Storm, who is the lead singer of the Pussycat Dolls. She's also on The Masked Singer every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central or whatever.
I love her on that show.
If they're looking for someone else to wear a bunny furry suit next season, hey Nichole, I'll wear a furry suit to sing live. You're welcome. So Nichole Sereine Storm is where I got my name because she's beautiful, she's talented, she is so underrated. She's like the lead singer of the Pussycat Dolls, which is very pop. However, like I have seen her do opera, I have seen her sing, dance, perform. Like she is so talented in so many things. As far as drag queens go, Tatiana is another one. I really like the underrated queens. So Tatiana, she is beautiful. She kind of has my aesthetic, or I have her. Well, I don't know who started first, but I really like her aesthetic. She does the thigh highs like I do. She has a leotard. She can dance, so I love her. Cameron Michaels. Also, I love Cameron Michaels. He is way more beefy than I'll ever be. So
well,
I follow him on Instagram for a lot of reasons.
I will just say this, honey.
But I'm happily married.
Well, I get dating. It, but I will say this.
But Cameron, we were to have like a drag queen free pass, maybe we talk about Cameron Michaels, but hey.
I love me some Cameron Michaels, and I think he is a gorgeous guy, and I would just love an opportunity to climb on those muscles.
I'm sure you would.
And I'm a married girl too, so
right.
Muscles are muscles.
We love our drag husbands though. They are phenomenal. We couldn't do what we do without them.
Yeah, and drag husbands go through so much. They carry our luggage, they help with our outfits. I mean, and they have to stay up all hours with us to make sure we get home safely. Poor guys.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say sometimes. Yes. No, my boyfriend's always with me. If I'm out, he's out. So well, that's what we do.
Nikki, you're a gorgeous, gorgeous queen. Tell us a little bit about your makeup process and what you go through to become Nikki.
So I will always say this, and I will tell everybody this, and I'm not ashamed of it. I am very blessed to have my bone structure because I am not the best makeup artist. I love doing drag. I love transforming. However, makeup is not like, people are like, you love makeup. I'm like, no, I don't. I do it because it allows me to be Nichole. However, it is not my favorite part of the process. It's actually my least favorite. If I could just sit there and have like Kardashian, slaves like they do doing their hair and makeup, like that would be my dream. But yeah, no, I mean, I've been dabbling with makeup. I'm constantly growing. I'm constantly learning. My go-to is James Charles palette. I recently just got a Morphe palette, who is what I'm kind of like wearing today. It's Morphe. It's beautiful.
Yes, you look fierce.
So I just tried that out today, and I am living for it. I definitely want to do more with that. That was given to me by Katie, so thank you, Katie. That was a birthday gift. So, yeah, no, it's growing. And I think that if you're a drag queen and you think your makeup's done, you should be done as a drag queen. Like, you should always be trying to improve your makeup, always trying to figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Like, maybe you shouldn't be done. That was probably rude. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, always try to grow. Like, my makeup looks better than it did last year. Next year, I want it to look better than it did this year.
And
So,
I
and
think
I'm
you're
sure you feel the same.
absolutely right. You know, honestly, if you're growing as a drag queen or you're a performing queen, you're always gonna constantly evolve. And you know, my makeup has definitely changed from what it looked like 5 years ago or 10 years ago when I first, well, not first started, but you know, I've been doing drag 15 years and it's been a long journey, and I have many faces that I have gone through, and this is probably where I feel the prettiest, is when I have this big over the top makeup, and sometimes that's how you find yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, like, I feel like I look very fishy, and if you don't know what fishy means, I'm sure most of you do, but it means I look passable as a bio female.
We have to say feminine now because fishy is actually considered offensive to women.
Is
So
it? Oh,
it
shit.
is. Yeah. So we actually, it's not an appropriate term to actually say anymore because it's actually insulting to females because it's about, you know, just about their body and about being off balance and stuff. So, you know, saying fishy means not a positive thing in the female world.
Oh, well, thank you for educating me. Despite what some people think about me, I love being educated rather than like being scolded. So thank you for teaching me that, because I would have gone around saying like I look fishy, but I know that that's not appropriate. So anyway.
Yeah, they talked about it on Dragula this last season, and it even taught me because, you know, my brand is clownfish, you know, and so even I had to learn that, girl. But, you know, you're beautiful, and I love that you're so female looking.
Yeah, and honestly, like that wasn't really intentional. It's just how my makeup like progressed and like how I do it. Like I feel like my eyeliner, like it just kind of, it's how it comes together. And you know, I am super excited.
I
I
can tell.
am I'm going to be having a good friend of mine, Brianna McQueen, do my makeup like as soon as this quarantine's over, because I want to see like what, you know, other artists can do to my face and like how I can grow. And I, you know, I saw her makeup and I was super inspired by her, and I did ask her, and I know like a lot of queens would be like and I'm like, girl, calm down, it's fine. So you know, I want to grow. And you know, as far as my makeup goes, like a huge inspiration was my drag mother, you know, when I was first learning. As I grew, Monique LaFay is a huge inspiration for my drag makeup. She's gone now, or she moved. She's not gone. She moved.
She moved.
A huge inspiration for my makeup, and so I look for inspiration for like what I do, you know, and you know, I don't want to steal anyone's makeup, but like I think if we all as artists decide to like take from each other, I think people want to stay in their lane, but they have like blockers up where they're like, this is my lane, like I'm not gonna like move. And I'm like, okay, like that, I get staying in your lane, but like let's learn and grow from each other.
Well, you know, one thing I've wanted to do for years, Nikki, is doing a Trading Faces show where you team up with another queen and you paint each other. And
Yeah,
then you actually, all these queens who are being painted by each other come out and do a big show. And,
that would be
you know,
super fun.
I think you can learn a lot from doing something like that, just because let's just say this, as much as I love my clown face, I would love to be painted super like glamorous, super beautiful ones. And, you
Yeah,
know,
well girl, let's do it.
absolutely.
I
So, Nikki, speaking of
You just painted
painting,
honey jinx galore, right?
I did. And I had
Yes.
so much fun painting her. But I gave her a complete makeover from hair, makeup, and clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you know, it was a different face than what she's normal. She usually goes for more a feminine look, also. But I've
Mm.
been telling her for years that she really needs to go for that more dramatic look with her makeup. And so I painted her, and I thought she looked stunning.
She looked beautiful. I was like, oh my goodness, like that's gorgeous. I mean, she looks beautiful anyway, but you know, when
Right.
someone else does it, it's just a different take on like it. So, and I know like hopefully when we reopen, I know closet balls are coming in from the court system where you paint other people.
Oh,
I think that I was asked to be a judge for, I think, Salem's Closet Ball. So
okay.
hopefully that still happens, and I'll be like a judge for Closet Ball. If you don't know what Closet Ball is, that's when it's like a kind of a competition. It's like a friendly competition where you paint somebody else in like an
Yeah.
hour.
And
So
we do it every year. It's a lot of fun. I actually won one year that where I painted someone, and I named the character Molly Freeball because I gave them a Molly Freeball look. But
oh, I used
so,
to be friends with Molly.
ooh, girl, I bet you were bad
We were
girl.
close, but you grow up sometime. You have to leave Molly behind. Hey.
Speaking of growing up, let's talk about the makeup process. How long does it actually take you to get in drag from start to finish?
Do I know what I'm wearing?
Well, from let's say you do know what you're wearing completely, from hair, outfit, and everything, but how long does it actually take you from shaving your face to putting on your wig?
I can do it. It's like a RuPaul challenge, but like I could do it with full face. I could do it in 45 minutes if I needed to. If I
Okay.
absolutely needed to.
Would you
I
look
could
good?
be, what?
Would you look good?
Yeah, I think it would look good. But like, you have to like, I don't go out of the house and look good if I don't. Come on, that's my career. But like, my makeup's gonna be like, I have like a face that's like, this is my go-to, and I don't deviate, and I could do it well within 30 minutes. Like,
Right.
from glue down to lashes, but like it's a look. Like I have like my eye, I have this, I have those colors, it's my color palette. That is my look. I'm not going to deviate. Like when I'm in a hurry, that's what it's going to be. And like, let me tell you, like I work in the medical field, as we talked about, but like there are times where I'm working late and I have the Glamazon show. So I have a boyfriend that helps me, and he'll pack my bag and be like, what are you wearing? What are you doing? But like when I get home, it's like chug a Red Bull, take a piss, get that makeup on, because we got to go. So it's been done before. And there's times where I'm sure, you're like bringing stuff to the club with you. You're like, I'll figure out hair when I get there. Let's just throw 4 wigs on and we'll figure it out at the club.
Absolutely. And we all do that from time to time, especially when you're working gig to gig to gig. Sometimes you just have to throw a whole bunch of shit in a suitcase and pray to God.
I
So,
know it.
Nikki, let's talk a little bit about your style. How would you describe your drag style?
Beautiful.
Yes. Are you a supermodel?
Oh, in my head, I'm a supermodel. Like, in my head, like, no one can touch me. Probably like I was when I first started drag, where people are gonna be like, you're delusional. Well,
Ooh,
gotta refill.
refill. Hey.
Thank you, Pit Crew.
Oh, I wish I had a pit crew.
He's my boyfriend, which means I pay him in blowjobs and anal.
Hey.
What were we talking about? I was thinking about my boyfriend and me.
So we were asking about you, naughty, naughty girl. How would you describe your drag style?
Ew. Well, this is one look. It's very, this is like bigger hair for me, you know. I will, if I'm performing, I'm probably gonna be in like a really cute leotard and thigh-high boots. Very Ariana Grande, Tatiana. Like, I like to move, I like to dance, I like to do cartwheels and things like that. So like, but like I've been doing, I think we're gonna get into it later, but like I've been part of the court system, part of that Imperial Sovereign Court of the Empire. Imperial Empire.
Emerald Empire, darling.
That's the one. I'm new, forgive me. So I've been wearing a lot of white.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that in a little bit, and we'll, talk about your time as a debutante. But, with your style, I would almost say that you're very showgirlish, like that very sexy nightclub girl also.
Yeah, I think it's definitely evolved to that. I'm like, within the last 2 years, I started wearing hip pads. I started like, creating a body. I used to be like, I went from being like, I'm skinny, like I could just wear like a dress and it would be like very straight and like with legs. But like lately I'm like, okay, like I need like bigger breasts and I need a bigger butt. So like it gives an hourglass. So I've definitely kind of molded into a woman, and I still show legs, and I still, serve a little bit of sex.
Yeah, so
My
with
voice went
that
up really
said,
high then.
would you say Nikki is a sexy queen then?
She's a little bit of sex, a little bit of fun. I think my looks are very serious. I love leather and lace. Like,
Ooh.
love leather. I love pleather. It doesn't necessarily have to be real leather because, like, I care about the environment.
Aw.
But I do have a real fur jacket that I bought on accident.
Okay. Do you like to wear, sometimes leather in your, everyday life?
Do I wear leather in my everyday life? I wear it in bed sometimes with my boyfriend.
Ooh, that's what I wanted to know.
My
Yes.
everyday life, I'm wearing scrubs, which
Hey, that's
actually,
sexy.
my boyfriend finds my scrubs sexy. When I come home in scrubs, he does find it a little sexy.
I think scrubs are sexy. I agree. I think, seeing a very beautiful man in a pair of scrubs, especially if they're not wearing underwear. Hey.
Let's just say I have a harness near my bed. That's all I'm going to say.
Get it, queen. Get it. So you've mentioned you had a drag mother who kind of helped you along the way. Tell me a few things they may have taught you, or kind of the journey they helped you get you where you are.
Yeah, so I did have a drag mom. Going kind of back to the first story, when I did that competition, the host of the competition saw what I was doing. She was like, I want to take you under if you want to, and we'll kind of go through this journey together. We both kind of moved forward. She taught me the basic, she took me under. She helped me, spend a fortune on makeup, which you have to do.
Right.
Side note, if you're starting drag, it's expensive. The startup kit is like at least $300 to $500 to start. Side note. So she helped me spend all that money to get my foundations and all of that. But no, she was a glamazon at the time. So once I got to be good enough and, it perfected it, she helped me. She would do like one half my face and have me do the other half. Like, it was very like, she started and, she helped me. And I will forever be grateful that she took the time to see that I had it and got me going. And then, when we, circumstances happened that she moved away, I had to continue my own career and start doing what I wanted to do and what worked for me. And yeah, she is a big reason I'm a glamazon for sure. However, for all those shady people out there that say she gave me her spot at a glamazon, that's not true. I just worked really hard for it. So, hi.
Yeah, and that kind of bullshit's stupid. They always want to say that you don't earn your spot, but if you're working constantly and you are putting time into your craft, you deserve your spot, and the rest of those haters can just go fuck the fuck off, right?
That's what I said with my smile. No, here's what I'll say, is that I was in a unspoken competition when there was spots for glamazons. I don't think you lived here at the time, right? Yeah,
Probably not.
Yeah, you weren't here at the time, but it was an unspoken competition. And I say that because people were like, oh, like, people were on a microphone saying like, oh, there's a spot open. And I was like, okay. But like, before I was a glamazon, I was coming to every single show. I would get in full like drag, even if I wasn't performing, to see like what the other girls are doing, and there was a lot of times where they were like, hey, like, do you want to do a number? Where Diva would be like, who is the host of the Glamazons, she would say like, oh, you're here, you look good, like, she just feeling generous, like, come do a number. Like, I put in my work, I put in my dues. So that's why I'm a Glamazon, because I showed up, I spent hours putting my face on to go out to just sit and watch, but just be there, take pictures with them.
And honestly, that's something these newer kids can learn is, back in the day when I started, that's how you got gigs, was you showed up to shows that you weren't booked for in full drag. You even sometimes had a CD ready in case they wanted to let you perform a number, and you just showed support, and that's how you got gigs. But now these kids who come from like RuPaul's Drag Race, who think anyone can do drag and expects to get paid instantly, you know, doesn't really understand that journey that a lot of us had to actually go through.
Girl, like, people, yeah. Here's like the one thing that I will say. And I don't really talk, you know me, you've known me for years. I don't really talk a lot, but when I talk, I talk. Here's what I will say. It is not up to those who already are drag queens to decide if you are a drag queen or you're doing drag, because those are not the same. And people want to say, like, oh, I did drag, like, I wasn't respected. Like, it's not up to decide. Like, if you want to be a drag queen, we'll figure it out for ourselves in time. If you show up in drag, we might say hi, but, like...
Well, there's a difference from people who dress up in drag and performers.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, is, like, they do drag and they think, like, I'm a drag queen. If you do drag, you know, and you know, I know, you know, there's a difference between drag queens and those who do drag. Drag queens invest, they spend time, they support each other, they go to each, like, other shows, like, to support. Like, I have a drag room. I'm sure you have a drag room or a drag, like...
We're in it right now.
Yeah, like, you can do drag, and I will applaud you, and I will, you know, say you did a good job, and I will help you if you want, but, like, when you're a drag queen, like, it's different. And I'm sorry, like, that's my opinion. If you're, like, going out on, like, in a, you know, a dress from Ross and fishnets and high heels and a wig, like, I love you, and I do it 100%. Like, I support you, you're doing drag. I'm not gonna call you a drag queen. And if that calls me shady, call me shady. But, like, I spend a lot of money on hair and makeup and gigs, and you do too. Like, you have amazing hair, you have amazing looks. Like, that's a drag queen. You're a drag queen, I'm a drag queen. But, like, if you're just coming out and...
Well, and I'll say this. You know,
I'll respect you as a human, and I'll love what you do.
I partially agree with what you say, and I think is, you know, I get what you're saying, but I think what really makes a difference, and what you're trying to say, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, is that there is a difference for people who go on stage, put on a performance, entertain people, and that is a difference from the people who just show up dressed up, who aren't intending to perform or don't know how to perform. And I think that's the difference. But now this is where I'll say, anyone who wants to be an entertainer and do drag as an entertainer should be identified as a drag performer. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think we're kind of saying the same thing. I think those who think that weed is... I don't know if you've experienced it, but, like, I've experienced where people think, like, they are, like, been doing drag for, like, 3 months, and they're like, I deserve the same amount of respect as, like, the other drag queens.
And I have seen that, and, you know, it's hard when you're doing drag 15 years and someone who's not even doing it a year wants to get paid more than you, and you're just like, chill, calm down, child, you'll get your spot.
Yeah, and I think, like, respect is earned. Like, it took me, you know, years before I felt that, and I think people want it too quickly, and I'm like, if you want it that quick, like...
And I don't think there's anything with that said, because, you know, again, we worked very hard to get where we both are, and, you know, it didn't happen overnight for us. It's something we had to work very, very hard with.
Yeah, so, and, like, I've taken, like, multiple, like, queens in this town, like, not, like, under my wing, but, like, I feel like I've supported, like, a lot of people when they, you know, came to this town, and I, like, you know, I've had a lot of, like, performers, like, perform with me, like, when I was a Glamazon, like, you know, I've asked, like, you know, Tiara Blake to come when she was new on the scene, and I think she's off the scene now, but, like, I was like, hey, like, come do a duet with me to kind of get in the Glamazon stage, and, like, that little highlight, like, when Slatasia was, like, brand new, like, I had her do a lot of duets with me when I was a Glamazon to, like, kind of get experience. Like, I am not one to, like, push people down. Like, I want to lift people up.
Oh, and I know that,
But like,
darling.
you have to show me like you want this and like that you're hungry for it, you know.
Absolutely. When I
And
moved
that's the
here,
difference. Are you doing it because you want attention, or are you doing it because you want to do it and you're hungry for that? If you just want
absolutely.
attention, like, go to onlyfans.com.
Girl, you're crazy. No, and I understand what you're saying, because when I first moved here to Eugene, you were one of the first people to come out to a show that and support and say, "Hey, I'm here to support you as a friend," and that meant a lot to me.
Yeah, like, you know, you and I haven't always been like super close, especially when you lived in Southern Oregon. But like, when you move up here, I was like, absolutely, like, I love working with you. I love when you like perform with the Glamazons. It's super fun. The last time
Absolutely.
you came, when it was Cress and I, like, and you did that number where you were crawling on the floor, I was like,
She's putting together some new stuff. She's trying to get a little more sexy these days. But one thing I actually wanted to kind of lean into is that you actually work with, again, the Glamazons, and a few of those queens, I should say, are very experienced queens and have been performing drag since the 80s. Have you learned anything working with some of those queens?
I learned that I'm very young.
Yay!
Yeah, honestly, I learned that it's not a competition.
Right.
And I know that that's really easy to say, but like, I'm not in competition with the other Glamazons, and that's really hard because those who don't have that like group, like, we're a group. Like, if one of us performs, we all perform. And I don't think there's any. I know that there's like the Farces, like, I think they have like a group too, and they have a family, and I respect them for what they do. But like, we're so tight knit, like, I've learned that like, I can excel in what I do, you excel in what you do, and we're gonna build each other up. And I've learned the importance of respect. And I've learned the importance of respect over attention. I used to be like a lot of queens and a lot of people who were like, I want attention.
Right.
But the Glamazons has taught me, like, that's not going to get you very far. Like, you need to be respected. And that's what I love about the Glamazons, is that we're not the only ones, of course, but we are a group that we want to be respected. We want to be something that's bigger than a group of people lip syncing. Like, when we come on, we have a certain aesthetic that we always live up to. We have a certain, we raise our own bar. We're not looking at what you're doing or what you're doing. We're raising our own bar. We have a certain aesthetic that we live up to. We're not going to come out and give you a subpar performance. We're going to do what we need to do. We're going to be professional. We're going to hold ourselves professionally. Daphne may slap your butt, and Diva may,
Oh my
talk
gosh.
about dick, and
Let's
Caress
actually
may be
dive into
grinding up
that
on
a
your
bit.
man. But we do it with class.
Well,
And
let's
I
dive into
recently
that.
became a Storm, and that kind of also meant a lot to me as well.
Absolutely, babe. Well, I am going to say this before we proceed. Give me a chance to respond, girl. You were a talker. I'm trying to talk over here, and you're just like, talk, 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 talk. I love a one girl show over here.
Well, you did call me the host at the beginning of this, so.
Well, seeing it's going straight to her head.
I
Well,
told you I had a big head. I said at the beginning, I was like, I won every competition I've entered, and you
it's
can talk
fine,
now.
baby. I love you. I just, I have to put in my dominance and, feel important and all. So,
I do it to my boyfriend all the time.
oh God. So like you mentioned, you are part of the legendary Eugene drag group, the Glamazons. Tell us a bit about that experience and what you've, kind of what you've learned and how that's really affected your life.
The Glamazons has taught me a lot. I think it mostly taught me to not take everything so seriously. We are serious about what we do, but at the end of the day, we're all going to be there for each other. We all have love and respect for each other.
Right.
We aren't you know, there's been times where we're people and we're in a community where we get caught up with something, with like drama, or it's just what we do, and we try not to, but like, we're drag queens, we're LGBTQ community, it is symbiotic with drama. I'm sorry, I'll say it. We don't like to say it, but I'll say it. So the Glamazons, like, you bring that to a Glamazon show, and like, you're gonna get told like that's not the place. Like, if I'm talking about something else that has nothing to do with it, like, any one of those queens is the first to say like, hey, that's not what we're here for. Leave that at home. Like,
Absolutely.
So they taught me like, focus on what we're doing, be the best drag queen we each are, and that's it. They've also taught me the importance of giving back to the community. We do shows that give back, and we bring happiness to other people, and we do have our charity that we do. We perform sometimes for free, and we give back, and Daphne will be the first to tell you, like, giving back is huge. She's not my drag mother. I am part of her family. That's kind of a misconception. People are like, oh, Daphne's your drag mother. She's not my drag mother, but she is someone I look up to, and she has taught me so much about charity, and she's like the first, she does Pride and Damsels, and all of these things are charities. So
such an amazing person. Daphne is just an amazing person, and for you to be part of the Storm family is, such a great honor, because Daphne's been doing drag since the 80s, and she, I think, has been outbred almost 5 times, and she really has been rocking the drag scene, and I don't think she'll ever stop. She's going to be left over with Cher, the cockroaches, and Twinkies.
Right.
So how long have you been a Glamazon again?
I was trying to figure that out. I think I was like 24, 25, so like 3-4 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
and
I wasn't the original.
Yeah, but when you started Glamazons, didn't you almost do them almost every single week?
Yeah, so when I first started Glamazons, it was back when we had the Wayward Lamb, and we performed every single Friday. And let me tell you, we packed the bar every single Friday. Like, there was a line out the door every single Friday.
Oh my gosh, that's totally crazy. Now, I would think doing shows every single week would be a lot like doing drag boot camp, where you're constantly doing makeup, you're constantly putting outfits. Did that ever get hard? Did that ever even affect your maybe drag creativity when doing such constant shows?
Yeah, like 100%. The more you do something, the more it becomes obsolete, the more it becomes kind of running through the motions and just kind of getting it done.
Right.
So yeah, I think in one aspect it allowed me to, it was very challenging because I was tired. Like, you're tired. I work a lot. I'm a student. I don't stop. I have a lot that's on my resume, and that's what I chose to do. So having a show every Friday is like boot camp. Like, I used to start at like 2 p.m. and be like, I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this. I like have so much to do before 10 p.m. that eventually I was like, you know what? I just need to stop, slow down, and realize like I could do it all in a short amount of time and like do it well. I will say though, while I was doing that, I was allowed to experiment a lot more. It did challenge me to get more artistic. I will repeat numbers that I care about. So if you've seen me repeat a number, it means I cared about it for one reason or another. You may or may not know why, and you don't need to know why. It means a lot to me. But back when I was doing it weekly, I did challenge myself to do something, something that's different, something that's out of the box. One of the performances I did, I was like, I want to do something different. So I told the bar I wanted all the lights cut. No lights. No no stage lights, no lights in the bar. like, I want it pitch black. And I did Flashlight by Jessie J, and I pulled out my phone, turned on the light, and everyone caught on, and the entire audience, like, turned their flashlights on and lit me up with their flashlights. And it was awesome. And it was a moment that I was like, I did this because, you know, I wanted to push myself, and I was like, this could go horribly wrong. I could be, you know, performing in the dark if this doesn't go right. But, you know, when you're in an intimate moment, like, the audience will follow you.
Absolutely. And, you know, I love that you did stuff like that. And, you know, I think bringing that emotion to a performance really strikes with people. And I think that's fantastic. Oh my gosh. Someone's sneezing and coughing over there.
He's, like, down here right now choking on
Oh,
something.
oh, goodness. I love a man that knows how to choke.
It's off camera, so it doesn't count. It's below the waist.
You're such a naughty girl.
Yeah, babe.
So we mentioned, so I've actually worked with you and the Glamazons many times. You're actually one of my favorite groups to work with. I actually really enjoy working with you girls because you're always so professional. I always have a good time. Now, you guys seem like a very close family. Do you ever backstage bicker or throw shade at each other? Oh, come on, tell the truth, girl. I know that they do. Daphne's evil. She throws shade at you all the time.
We are a family. And with family comes love, acceptance, and drama. So, you know, I'm not going to say that we are perfect. I'm not going to say that we don't bicker. I'm not going to say that we may not talk to each other for a couple of weeks until they're ready to come back. Or, you know, they're getting donuts every weekend instead of coming to Glamazons. But what I will say is that at the end of the day, we have a lot of love. And at the end of the day, we will always be there for each other. Sometimes we need a break. Sometimes we need to look into ourselves.
I think that's fantastic.
And sometimes, you know,
other people sell out shows while they're gone.
Sometimes other people do other shows than Glamazons on a Friday night. But I've never missed a Glamazons to do another show. But you know what? That's okay. Because Glamazons is not any of our lives. It's what we do. It's what we love doing. And we all committed to doing it. But you know what? We do fight and we do bicker and we do have differences of opinion. But when we have a show and when we are ready to go and like when that song, thanks for, and that's the end of the song, you know, the intro, we are present, we are ready, and if you come to a Glamazon show, you're not going to regret it because we put on a fucking amazing show, no matter if we're talking or not. We're all professional. We all love each other. And if I ever need anything, like I've called Diva, I've called all of them crying because of something that happened, or, you know, we will always have each other's back. And I
think that's amazing. And I think you could really tell that as an outside perspective that you guys are so close and a family. And honestly, I wouldn't even be able to tell that if there were any moments that you guys were not talking or anything, because you guys really do care about each other. And, you know, like families, people tend to pick on each other. And that's one thing I tend to experience, especially backstage with other queens, is, you know, the playful shade. And, you know, that's the kind of thing that I think that I appreciate, especially with like queens like you guys who are so close, where you know each other's boundaries and you know kind of how to play with each other. And sometimes it can be fun watching queens backstage because they can be a little ruthless, but in a fun, playful way. And I love that.
Yeah. And I think the thing that kind of separates us is like, you know, if we're on the microphone, we will do playful shade and we do a little bit.
Right.
But we're real. Like when we're backstage, like, you know, it's not, you know, how's this, how's that, how's your day? Like, it's like you know, it gets deep. Like, we know each other, you know, it's not really, like, it's, of course, like, hey, how's it going? But, like, we go deeper than that. Like, our friendship, our professionalism, like, we, you know, I will share with them things in my life that, you know, I'm not going to go do a show, you know, and share with people, or, you know, we're that much of a family that I'm like, hey, like, this, I'm struggling for this. And this is something that I'm struggling with. This is something that I'm having a hard time with. That the makeup, the wigs, the heels, like, that disappears. And it's like, we're real people, you know, and that's what's beautiful about it.
I think that is fantastic. And again, you guys are such a pleasant group to work with. If you guys are ever in the Eugene area, when shows and bars start opening up again, make sure to check out the Glamazons. They perform at Cowfish and at Spectrum. Again, they are an amazing group of girls, and you have such a different spectrum of performers with them, because you have the beautiful Nikki, you have Caress Ann Slaughter, you have Daphne Bertha Storm, and Diva Simone Slaughter, who are all talented. And ooh, goodness, the oldness is coming up. But no, they're also fantastic. And I, you know, again, I'm so happy that I've been invited to work with you girls, because, you know, it makes me feel good about myself. You know, I remember coming when I lived in Medford, and I'd see the Glamazons. That was always kind of a goal. It's like, okay, one day I'm going to work with the Glamazons. And it's kind of now, it's like not even something I even think twice about. Is if you guys ask me to special guest, it's like, okay, hey girls, I'll come and hang out with ya.
No, we love having you. You're pleasant to be around, and, you know, you get what we're about.
Yeah, girl, you know, drag's all about professionalism. That's one thing a lot of people don't get. This is a job. We're
I
here
wish it were more.
Yeah, we're here to entertain people, and you know, no one wants to work with a nasty, heinous bitch. So we just have to be pleasant and playful. So, well, girl, we better get this going. Let's talk about what we would expect from you on stage. What would we expect from a Nichole Sereine performance?
You're gonna see energy. You're going to see probably a trick or two, because, like I said, I live for the applause. So you might see a round off, you might see a cartwheel, you might see a kip up. I like to dance. I like to have fun. I like to leave it all on the dance floor. If I'm not out of breath by the time my song's over, like, I'm gonna be wishing I did more. So,
Well, does Nikki do a lot of tricks? Like you mentioned, you do a few things, but can you do like stunts like death drops, high kicks, or shablams?
yes, minus the high kick. So if you could, like, imagine like a graph, the more drinks I have, the more tricks I do. It's like a direct correlation, girl. Like, let me tell you, 4 drinks, you might get 3 tricks. 5 drinks, you might get 10. Like, it's exponential. So,
Oh my gosh, I wish I got that brave when I drink and drive, but anytime I try to do stunts, it gets a little scary. And if I try to do a death drop, I'm probably going to end up laying on the ground, not being able to move. So,
right. So basically, like I like to say, like, if you see me in the club, buy me a lemon drop and I'll probably give you a death drop.
well, tell me a little bit about maybe some artists or songs that actually inspires your performances.
Well, musically, right now, I am living for Dua Lipa's new album.
Ooh.
I love her. She just dropped a new one that I've been listening to. Dance-wise, like, I've done, like, Britney Spears. I love Britney. I will forever love Britney, even if her last, like, 4 albums flopped.
Ooh.
Not my fault. But no, I definitely love energy. I do like Halsey. I do Halsey when I'm in my feelings, generally.
Sorry.
What was that?
My boyfriend couldn't control himself and got a little on my face.
He just splurged all over you. Oh my goodness.
Halsey.
No, what were you saying then?
I don't remember. I got splooged on.
Well, no problem. We can definitely just move past it. I love that you do have some inspirations for music. I love that you mentioned Halsey, Britney Spears. Now, tell me a bit about your all-time favorite performance that you may have done?
Ooh, this is a good one. So my all-time favorite performance was there's two. Well, the first one I did for Pride a couple years ago with Daphne. It was right when I was at Glamazon. I did Greatest Thing. It was with Cher and Lady Gaga. I don't know if you know the song.
Oh, I've been wanting to do that for years.
Yeah, so I convinced Daphne to do it with me because obviously she loves Cher and I love Lady Gaga, and I was like, they did a song together. So we did it for Pride. We both wore gowns. We both looked beautiful.
Oh.
I looked up to Daphne for many, many years before then. So it was a chance to be at Alton Baker Park. And it was beautiful. Like, I felt so beautiful. I was up there with one of my idols. I loved it. My second favorite was at the Holt Center show, which, if you're keeping up, the Holt Center got postponed.
Yeah.
You were supposed to be there, right? Yeah.
So if you're from the Eugene area, they do a fantastic event every year called Divas, Damsels, and Dames at the Holt Center, and that's put on by the beautiful Daphne Bertha Storm. And it's a fundraiser for the HIV Alliance. Now, we were going to be doing, I believe, April 11th was the original date, and sadly, because of everything going on, they had to postpone it to September. So I'm still in it. I'm still going to plan on being in it this year. Hopefully you are too.
Yes, I will definitely be there.
So what was your favorite performance from that show?
So I'm gonna get mushy for like a little bit, but what's it? 2 years ago, I did a performance. I had a choreographer, Joe Hawk, choreograph my routine. And at that time, we needed another backup dancer, and there was this beautiful, talented, amazing man that had just moved into town, that Joe Hawk.
Joe Bell.
Well, Joe Hawk. He goes by Joe Hawk for like professional. Joe Bell found to be a backup dancer, and we did a number where I had 2 backup dancers, and I am currently in a relationship with one of those backup dancers. So that was the show / performance that we worked together. He danced for me. I put on a little show for him, and 2 years later, we're living together and very happy. So that was probably my favorite performance. Also, I look damn good.
Well, I have to tell you, I love that story, and I love that there's emotional feelings behind it because you met your boyfriend, your current boyfriend, in that situation. But I have to tell you my favorite performance of yours, and it's also on the Holt Center stage, and I believe it was last year, where you dressed up as Poison Ivy, and you just had leaves coming off of your waist, and you looked fucking stunning.
Thank you, babe.
Oh, absolutely. Now, also, I do know that, besides doing Glamazons and like Divas, Damsels, and Dames, you also have a regular show out in Cottage Grove where you do a drag brunch.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about what we expect for that event.
So that drag brunch is probably next to Glamazons. One of my I share that show. I co-host that one with Chris and Slaughter. It is probably one of our most successful shows. I know you've been doing it. You've done it multiple times.
I love that show so much.
I
It's
will
so
say
fun.
that I am a night queen. I love coming out at night. I like sleeping in. I don't like getting up early. But every Sunday when that show happens, once a month, I get there, and the energy, the positivity, so much fun. It is one of my favorite shows to do, even though it's at 11 o'clock in the morning, which means I had to get up at 9, 8-ish. Yeah, so honestly, it is not like a normal brunch. Like, we do have brunch food, but like mimosas are pouring at like 10:30. They're like, okay, let's switch to shots. Like, it is crazy. Like, don't be prepared to not do anything the rest of your day. I don't know what it was like when you came, but like every time like brunch is over, I'm like, oh shit.
Well, I'll say this, because you also perform brunch with Cress Ham Slaughter, and I prefer a lot of the Oregon herb. So usually once the show's over, me and Caress disappear and go play with the Oregon herb, and then I'm pretty happy most of the time.
Yeah, you and like the audience, like it is an amazing show. I definitely would recommend it. It is an all ages show, so if you're watching this and you have kids that would love to come to a drag show, we do keep it all ages. We do keep it as PG as two drag queens can, one that's on herbal medication and one that is drinking her fifth mimosa.
With that
It
said,
is super fun. We keep it fun.
does it ever get hard to kind of keep the performance family friendly? And I even heard rumors that it can get hard on the microphone, where you even had to get to a point where you have a swear jar. Is that true?
We do have a swear jar because we're not supposed to curse, because it's an all ages show. So we do our best. So we do have a swear jar that was given to us by one of our regulars, who she comes every month. She dresses up, and this is what it looks like. It's beautiful.
Oh my God, is there money in it?
There is money in it. I haven't spent it, even though I'm on quarantine and broke. So.
Are you saving it for any special charities or anything?
Yeah. So when it gets filled, we're gonna figure out a charity that we want to donate it to, and that's what the donations are gonna go to. So we figure we're gonna turn something ugly, like swearing, like saying shit, damn, fuck, cunt, and we're gonna turn into charity. So that's beautiful.
I do love that so much. And one thing I really want to know, especially about doing your brunch shows, what do you love most about doing an all-age show?
Oh, so I would consider myself to be one of the most kid-friendly entertainers, not because I'm the best at it. I'm not the best at it. I love the youth. I love kids. Getting a little bit into my background, I was a foster child. I was adopted when I was 9. And being a kid is hard. So if you can find something that makes a child happy, or if I can do something that makes a child happy, no matter what the situation is, I'm going to do it. Whether they're in a loving home, whether they're not, it doesn't matter. So I have always had a place in my heart for youth. I wanted to be a social worker for a long time. I realized like that wasn't my calling. My calling was to be in the medical field. So for me to have another all ages show is beautiful. I love having queens that aren't 21 yet, because if they don't have anywhere else to go, like I want to hire them because they are so talented. We've had many talented, you've seen them. Mayflower is one of them. Crybaby is one of them. Del Taco Rio Experience is one of them. There's so much talent that just because they're not 21, they can't get into a bar. It doesn't get to showcase them.
No, absolutely. And there's a lot of talented people. And the one thing that I really think is important is something I actually learned when I worked with Crybaby at one of your brunches, is how much you actually inspire these younger kids who aren't quite old enough to do the shows. And before it turned into Spectrum, it was the Wayward Lamb. And I think you did what was one of the most important shows at the time, and something I'd love to see come back, which was called Glamature Hour. And this is where it was an all-age event where you allowed people to come in and perform in drag. And I've never seen kids so happy to feel free, safe, and just welcome. Do you mind talking a little bit about what inspired you to do that?
Yeah, so Glamature Hour was one of the only all ages show of its time. And there's one now. I don't remember what it's called, but I think it's also at the Wayward Lamb. You'll have to look that up. Spectrum. But no, it was the only all ages show of its time, and I would have a cast of probably 10. Some were older than 21, some were underage, you know. It didn't really matter. You know, I would try to book queens that were under, you know, with the parent guardian, you know, with them. But no, like, that's how, you know, with that show, it was on a Sunday afternoon at like 5, which I was like, how am I going to fill, you know, not a bar, but a venue, which they would like cover up all the alcohol. There was no alcohol allowed in this area.
No. The horror of it all.
Yeah, no, they covered it. You were not allowed to bring alcohol. And I'm like, how am I going to fill a venue? How am I going to do this? But let me tell you, like, it was filled. Like,
right?
The entire back room was like completely filled. They had to like have people wait outside. Like, I hit capacity multiple times on this show because people came out, and it was a Sunday at 5 p.m. Like, and I was like, it got to me. And it was a huge community thing. It wasn't just me. Like, I was the face of it. I had a big poster with my picture on it, which of course went to my head. So, and yeah, so like that was one of the most amazing shows. That's how I met Mayflower. That's how I met Crybaby. You know, I think that's how I met Taco Del Rio, or Del Taco Rio Experience. So that show was amazing. I wanted to carry that on to Drag Brunch. And I did. I think like a lot of those performers that I had have come to the show. You know, I think Mayflower moved to Portland, but I've asked her to come, and I think she was going to come eventually. But no, and I love that I've been such a, you know, a role model for these kids. You know, I'm more of a role model than I even realized. Like, I had someone's mother come and say, he bought this dress because you wore one like it. And I was like, that's like amazing. And I called out a kid, and I complimented her bow. And I found out later, like, her, you know, foster parent messaged me saying, like, you don't know this, but like, she's a foster child. And I was like, okay. So we had a conversation. I was like, I was a foster child, and I didn't know that she was. I just complimented her bow, and like, I made her whole like experience and pride. I had a kid crying and say, I saw you last year. And, you know, they came crying, and I'm hugging this kid who's crying that I don't know, but like, it doesn't matter. Like, they love me.
It means
it does,
so much.
yeah. So I
you
love
know,
working with youth. That's kind of what it came down to. Is the kids they're braver than adults are.
absolutely. And you know, honestly, you're very inspiring, and the fact that you focus so much on the kids and the all ages is very important this day and age, because no, there's a lot of kids that aren't being influenced or supported at home, especially when they're showing interest to drag and stuff. So to have someone like you who completely gives them a safe space to come out, be themselves, and feel supported, I think that's just so beautiful. And I really just have to say, I respect you so much for that, Nikki.
Yeah, well, you too. You're amazing with kids. I've seen you with kids, and you're phenomenal.
I try. You know, with someone named Bitchcock, it can get a little hard to be family friendly, but I do like kids. And like you said before, when children come up to you crying that they're so excited to meet you, it's hard for it not to feel like it's not an important moment in your career, because you know, if someone wants to take your picture, that's great. But if a kid is truly inspired from you, that's phenomenal, because it means you're actually doing something right in your career and you're inspiring people, and that's lovely.
Yeah.
So speaking of careers and, you know, a drag persona, one thing I really need to know and want to know is there a difference between Nikki Sereine, or Nichole Sereine Storm, and you in real life?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You know, I think that Nichole has given Mark, me as a boy, it has given me a lot of confidence. But like, I think like, if you were to see me like at a drag, like, I'm definitely more quiet, I'm more reserved. I would probably let you talk more, as you pointed out earlier. Yeah, like, I'm still genuine no matter what I am. I always want to be genuine. I never want to be fake. I never want to put on a show. But like, you know, when I'm, you know, this, I feel like I'm like more hyped up. I'm like, I look good, I feel good. But like, honestly, like if Mark was to get like a new outfit, a little bit of liquor, it'd probably be more like Nikki anyway, you know? Anytime we get a new outfit, we're like, yes. Or if I get my haircut, like the boy, like, so there's a lot of differences, and my lashes are so much smaller as a boy, trust.
So you made me actually think of a fun question. It's something I do, and this is why I want to ask you this, is do you ever have that moment where you order a new dress, it comes in, you get home from work, and you're so excited that the first thing you do is get undressed, put on your new outfit, and start dancing around your front room in your new dress?
Is there any other way to get a new dress?
Yes! I love you so much!
I wait for my boyfriend to get home, and I'm like, hey.
I'm like, what?
And like he said, he's like, what is that? And I was like,
I'm like,
just...
put your bulge away.
He's like, what?
Put your bulge away.
Oh, he said put my bulge away. And I'm like,
Ooh.
I'm going to take it out later, but okay.
Hey girl, stay tucked for now. Stay tucked for now. So
no, I'll be like, I take off all my clothes and I put on the dress. So it's like,
I'm like, it'll be cute when your bulge is gone.
So.
Well, you know, you mentioned that you have so many good shows and you're really well known around Eugene. Now, you must have so many fans. Now, have you ever found it a struggle where maybe fans have crossed a personal boundary and maybe didn't really understand the difference between like being a fan and maybe a friend?
It's a very thin line. There are people that call themselves friends that I would call a fan, and then it's vice versa. I think that if you want to be a friend to a drag queen, how do I put this? Mark, me at a drag, has a lot of friends. But if they never take the time to come see me perform, it makes it a little difficult for me because I'm like, this is what I do.
Right.
Like, this is like, you know, this is how you can see me. But these are also people that I would see outside of drag as well. So it does get a little iffy. You know, I have people that come every single brunch that reserve a table and they have bought me presents. They bought me Christmas presents. They bought me birthday presents. They only really see me in drag or once or, you know, but those are people that I consider friends because we talk outside of, you know, the show.
How about,
you know, the show happens and they're there and we're all hyped, but they check in on me like outside of the show. They're like, hey, like I thought of you. Hey, like this means a lot. I'll name drop a few. Carmen and Mila from Drag Brunch. I know you met them. They're hard to miss if you're ever at a drag brunch.
Amazing.
They are my friends. They've invited Chris and I to their house. You know, we visited them as boys. You know, they've bought me a Christmas gift. They bought me a birthday gift. They are wonderful people. They are friends. Yes, they're my biggest fans, and that's okay. And I love that. You know, ultimately at the end of the day, like my boyfriend, my partner is my biggest fan, but I don't even call him a fan. He's my partner. But, you know, but I've also had it the opposite where people will come to your show and they're like, I'm at every single one of your shows. And it goes the opposite way where I'm like, okay, but like, you're only ever at my show. You know, there's more to me than just, you know, this 10 minutes I'm on stage, you know, a night. If you divide your performances by like 3, you know, I'm more than that. And if you're friends with Nikki, like I'll be your friend, of course, but like, you know, that's where that line is, and it's really hard sometimes.
I understand. The reason I ask you this is I face it a lot where people think because I'm a drag queen and I'm friendly to people, and I'm very friendly to most people, that I'm automatically your friend. And sometimes it's like you said, you know, I have my friends and I have my friends who come to drag shows that I do consider friends, but I definitely have people that I think of you as a fan, and I, you know, it doesn't mean I don't love you or I don't care about you, but you know, it does mean that I kind of draw a line in the sand from my drag persona to my personal life. And, you know, that's something I definitely try to do. Now, with that said, and kind of with a kind of segue to this question, do you ever have a hard time with the men's that come to your shows, that they see you in these sexy outfits, they see you putting on this really feminine look? Do they ever kind of get confused where they kind of flirt with you, or maybe make you feel uncomfortable ever?
I try to stay out of that. You know, I'm in a very happy, healthy relationship, so I don't really allow myself to be put in that situation. However, I know that other people, you know, in the past, whether or not the drag queen wants to be in that situation, are put in that situation. But I've been pretty clear, you know, if somebody, you know, I am at the bar waiting for my drink and someone, you know, is like, hey, can I buy you a drink? You know, I'm very clear, like, you know, I do have a boyfriend, I'm sorry, like, I have a partner. And they're like, oh, well, I'll buy you a drink as a tip. And I'm like, okay, but like, I'll take that, but like, thank you. But like, I'm very like, it's a very clear cut situation. Like, you know, I don't go up and I don't, you know, I'll play around with the audience, you know. I will kind of like flirt a little bit, but it's not really flirting. It's just kind of like giving, you know, if you're gonna tip me, like, I'm gonna like pay a little more attention to you because that's our job, you know.
Absolutely.
But I'm never gonna lead anybody on. I'm never going to, you know, it kind of goes back to the respect or attention. You're gonna respect me, and if you're not gonna respect me, you know, if you're gonna disrespect me, I'll get your ass kicked out. And I have.
Right.
I have gone to, you know, Cowfish and said, like, this person needs to go. He grabbed me. Yeah, like, I'm not afraid. Like, it's a drag show, but like, we are people. You know, there was a gentleman who was constantly interrupting and touching inappropriately, and bye. I don't need you. I don't need your $1.
Absolutely.
I already had
And,
your money.
you know,
I performed already. I took your tip. Now you can go.
no,
Always do it after
absolutely.
your number. I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay, girl. Well, you know, the reason I bring it up is, you know, people, especially some of the men who will come to our shows, that I'll put on a sexy outfit and I'll be doing it for the performance and to feel like my oats. And they think because I'm wearing something sexy, it gives them permission to either treat me a certain way or touch me. And like you said, I'm in a committed relationship. That doesn't always make me feel comfortable. And, you know, I feel like it's important to bring that up, especially during interviews like this, because when you come to a drag show, you need to respect the boundaries that are placed before you and the rules. And coming on stage while the drag queen is performing is a big no-no. Touching a drag queen in an inappropriate way without their permission, a big no-no. And, you know, consent is not just sexy, people. It's absolutely fucking mandatory in any
Absolutely.
sense of the word. So I just want to put that out there. And the reason I bring this up is because, you know, us drag queens, we work so hard to look good out on stage. We don't need some drunk person coming out and, you know, either ruining our performance or making us feel unsafe, because that just ruins the experience for everyone, guys. So
Absolutely.
absolutely, baby.
Not to mention, absolutely, it's about respect. But like, let me tell you, if I had to put you in a place, it's a little bit for me and a lot for you, because my boyfriend will come after you with a bat. Kind of joking, but kind of not. He'll come after you if you disrespect me. Like, so it's a little bit for like their safety too, because my boyfriend will protect me no matter what. So I'm kind of looking out for him too, because I'm like, if my boyfriend, it's out of respect. I would never allow anyone to do something, but if you did it and I didn't realize you were doing it, or like I didn't catch on to it quick enough and you did something to disrespect me, not only will I come after you, my boyfriend will come after you, and he'll come after you much harder than I will. So
I don't know if that's true. Now, let me bring up a little scenario.
I know it's true. My boyfriend would.
Well, let
He
me say
is
this.
very protective, and I love that about him.
I was performing a show at Glamazons, and Caress was doing a sexy number, and I feel like she went up to your boyfriend and pushed her ass up against him, and I saw fire come out of your eyes. and you look like you were about ready to kill her. So I think it's adorable. I think you're just as passionate about your relationship, which I think is beautiful because it shows so much love and so much commitment to you and your partner.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. It's going to be the other way around. I thought we were talking about, like, you performing. Oh, hell no. I don't care if you're a glamazon. I don't care if you're the president of the United States. If you're grinding on my man, like I did on the stage at that night that I think we're talking about, I will come on the mic and say, get the fuck off my man, which is what I did on that night. I love Caress, but that's my man.
That's your man,
I worked hard
that's
from that.
man.
And now she has her own, and now it's okay. Well, actually, I think she had her man with her that night. But I will 100% get on the mic and say, get off my man. It's a two-way street. We work hard for each other, and we're going to make sure it stays that way. So
let's go into questions, shall
we? He's going to look after me, and I'm going to look after him, and that's what we do.
That's beautiful.
And we do it with tact until it can't be done with tact anymore. And then we're going to do it untactfully because it got us to that point.
And I hear you, girl, but, hopefully you don't ever have to get to that point. Now, one thing I do know about you and your partner is you actually both work together in a charity organization where you're currently the debutante and he is the Emerald Knight of Eugene. Why don't you tell us a little bit of that experience so far?
Yeah, so, was it January? We competed for debutante. I'm debutante 47, he is Knight 47. And so we're kind of like the companions of each other. So, as you said before, we're a part of the Imperial Sovereign Court of the Emerald Empire. And yeah, so we go all over the state. We attend fundraisers, we throw fundraisers, we raise charity for events, for 5 different organizations, maybe 6. Women's Space, HIV Alliance, Latino X,
Green
Hill, and another one that's very important.
You don't have to go all throughout them, but I think that's fantastic. And you're currently debutante, which means you have to wear either white or green. How is it to be stuck to a certain color zone when you're representing?
Have you ever had to wear white?
No, girl, I'm not. I'm a whore. I'm not allowed to wear white. It just bursts in flame when it touches my skin.
Right. Well, if you ever have to wear only white, you would know how the pain it feels. But I'm making the most of it. I have bought a few white dresses. They're really cute. I have, like I said, a white fur coat. I didn't know it was real fur, but it is. On accident. I mean, I bought it, so I'm going to wear it, but, it wasn't on purpose. But, I get it. So, I haven't gotten to experience, a really, a really formal event yet. But I only have to wear white for formal events, and I'm making it work. I bought this really cute, pantsuit with a, skirt. It's really cute. I haven't debuted it yet. But it's super cute. I'm super excited. It's very Celine Dion, which I love her for fashion. I'm making it work. If they told me to make, a potato sack, it's for charity. So I'm going to figure out how to bedazzle that potato sack and make it look good. That's what you got to do.
I love that. Now, tell me a little bit, do you enjoy to do charity shows? Do you prefer to do those, or does it do anything for you in everyday life knowing that you're helping your community?
I like money, but I do like doing charity shows.
Well, I like money too, but it is satisfying helping your community, wouldn't you say?
I know, I'm joking. I do like doing charity shows. Chris and I have pretty much gone to every appearance we could. Any appearance that was we were invited to, every show that was for the court in Oregon, we went to. I don't think we've missed a single one. Actually, yeah, we haven't missed a single event, whether we were getting paid, whether we weren't. We came, Absolutely. We showed up, Chris and I, we don't do anything half-assed. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it. You know, if we're going to, you know, it doesn't matter. If we're doing it, we're giving it 120%. So we haven't missed a single event on a weekend that we couldn't go to. Like, we've been to everything. So when we decided to, you know, run for these positions, we knew it was going to take, you know, we were going to exercise, you know, whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But, like, we knew that we were going to have to do things that we weren't getting paid for. And that's okay, because it was raising money for bigger charities. Chris even bought me, like, a pair of earrings and a ring, you know. That was beautiful, and that all went to charity.
Oh, I love that. And, you know, honestly, I think it's great that you're, you know, giving back to your community. And I'm really enjoying working with you as debutante because, you know, you really do have so much that you can bring to these kind of organizations. And, you know, I think you're a pleasant person to work with. And I just can't wait to see what you do with the rest of your year.
Yeah, for sure. No, we have a long year to go, so we're going to continue doing what we need to do.
Absolutely.
And what we want to do. We have amazing things planned. This kind of threw a wet blanket over some of those plans, as it did for everything. But, you know, we're still going to be in the works. We're still going to be 100% involved. And when we all get back to group activities, we're going to raise more money.
Absolutely. Why don't you, if you don't mind spilling a little tea, and hopefully not too much because your boyfriend's right there. I don't want to cause too much drama. But how is it working with your boyfriend in the drag world as a partner?
Be honest.
Oh, I love it. It's great.
Liar.
No, I mean, it would be like working with anybody that you're in a relationship with. There's, you know, a lot of things that are great. You know, going to shows has become our date night, you know, in a little sense that, like, you know, I get to, you know, work on music with him, and he sings live and I perform. So it's like our chance to get really dressed up, and I get dressed up in drag, and he gets really dressed up and looks amazingly handsome in, you know, in his, you know, boy aesthetic, and it's beautiful and it's gorgeous, and I, you know, I love him in and out of that aesthetic. But, you know, and we get to drive to Salem, drive to Portland, go to these events, and we're dressed up. And even though, like, I'm not as a boy, you know, he looks at me as the same whether I'm in drag or not. You know, we're still, you know, it's still our souls together. You know, it is tiresome because, you know, we're both very passionate people, and we're passionate about a lot of different things sometimes. So, you know, as any relationships, it has its, like, ups and downs. And but I would not want to do this with anybody else. You know, if he didn't win night 47, I would be very sad. I would still fulfill my obligation, but, like, I wouldn't feel as excited about it. It was something that we wanted to do together, and we wanted to win together. If I didn't win and he did win, and I had to watch him escort someone else down, I would be very supportive as well, kind of.
Well, I think that's fantastic. And, you know, like you said, there's always going to be ups and downs when you have to work professionally with someone. And it doesn't mean that you don't love them. It just means, you know, it's life, and things aren't always going to be easy.
But I would genuinely say, like, I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. That's 100% true.
And I will say this, from an outside perspective, you both make it look effortless, where you both look like you really enjoy each other's company. You both represent very respectfully and very regally, which I really enjoy. Now, one thing I do kind of want to know is, now that, you know, since coronavirus has hit, I know that your boyfriend's been a little home a little more, but a little birdie just recently told me that your man has really gotten very supportive of your drag, to a point where he's educated himself how to repair your costumes, how to help, you know, style your wigs and refresh your wigs. I mean, tell me a little bit about that, because I'm super jealous, because my boyfriend does not do any of that for me.
Yeah, no, he's always been super supportive, of course. That's hands down. He's started being supportive. He will be supportive till the end of days. But no, yeah, he has looked on YouTube, looked on various sources. He has always been amazing, but lately he has taken a lot of my wigs and like literally made them look from like ratty to like brand new.
Oh my
with
goodness.
like, you know, steaming them, combing them out, making them look like completely fresh. It's been amazing. And yeah, I think we've also worked on projects together that we wouldn't have had time for. And yeah, he's been helping me out with a new endeavor that I've started, which is making jewelry. He's designing jewelry and he designs it and I make it. So it's another thing that I've started doing.
Oh my
So
gosh,
that's been
that's so
super exciting.
exciting sounding. Now you're actually making like drag jewelry like these.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to weld? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so he designs the jewelry and I go through and I solder it all together. Like I buy the stones and I pieces. I buy the pieces. So this is like one of the ones that he designed.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so he designed the color scheme, he designed the thing, and then I went through and I welded, like I put all the pieces together, I welded it into one solid piece. I haven't decided if it's gonna be like an earring or it's gonna be a ring yet. I have all the pieces to make it either one. But no, he put all of the pieces together, and he saw like what it could be. And so it's been
Oh,
like a really fun partnership for him to kind of, you know, make it into something beautiful. And then I go through and, you know, he has the vision, I have the skills, I'm learning the skills to put it all together into actuality. So it's like a really fun project. He plays around, you know, his aesthetic is gorgeous, way better than mine could ever be.
well,
You
I
know,
just love how
I think very like this, and he thinks out of the box, and once he has that vision, I can make it happen, you know, when I buy the correct pieces. So it's like a really fun endeavor project that we've done together. That's been really fun for us. And I haven't sold any jewelry yet. I'm not into that phase yet. It's still into I'm making it for myself, perfecting my craft. But yeah, that's the next endeavor that I've been doing.
I love that, and I love that you're working together. Honestly, that's such an important craft in the drag world that you can make a lot of money just selling that jewelry once you get really good at it. And I think that is such an exciting thing to hear that Nikki's doing. And that's any queens watching who wants maybe to get some new jewelry, maybe start hitting Nikki up, because you know I know when people are starting learning, they're always they love to help people and they love to see their work on other people. So just putting that
Yeah,
out there.
absolutely. Like I'm gonna be probably my first model, so I'm gonna probably start wearing my own stuff. And you know, if people ask about it, I'm probably not, you know, if people are watching and they want, I could, you know, do something, but just know that I'm very early on into the craft. But yeah, once I'm like good enough and I think that I'm ready, like I'll start marketing myself more. But yeah, I'm gonna be my first model.
I love that. I cannot wait to see all your jewelry that's going to be coming up. Now, I'm very jealous that, or not even jealous, I would say more envious that you have such a connection with your partner and that he is not only supportive of your drag, that he has dived into your drag to really help you along your journey. And I think it's so beautiful to see people doing that. Now, one thing I kind of do know about your partner is he has a dance background. Has he ever helped you learn any good moves with your drag career?
Oh yes. So has anyone ever seen the new Lady Gaga video with what's that new song? It's what's the song? It's the brand new song. It's the love song.
Something love. Stupid love.
Stupid Love. He taught me how to do the choreograph to that one. Of course, but like naturally, like this all happened like before I got to perform it.
Oh no.
So that's kind of a joke. Like he did teach me how to do that. But I don't think we really gone over choreography because I'm not a choreography queen. I kind of do what I feel like I should do. I don't really learn a lot of choreography every week, but he does help me in the sense that he will tell me what looked good, what didn't look good. You know, he has helped me with stretches and things like that. He did have a hand in choreographing a performance that we did with the Glamazons for Peacock in the Park. Yeah, so he's been, you know, super helpful in a lot of that. But to be honest, when I perform, it's pretty unscripted. So you never really know what you're gonna get, but he's always looking out for my best interest. He's always looking at the stage, recommending things that I should and shouldn't do. You know, he tells me, like, you know, the stage is really high, don't do that. Or as you might know, like if you're involved in a show, you know, and you can't see the show and you're kind of hidden behind the backstage, he's always texting me saying, like, hey, do this, like the crowd loves that, you know, go out to the audience or stay on the stage. Like he's always kind of guiding me, like he's my eyes for the crowd when I can't be out there, like if I don't know what's going on. And I'm sure you've been like a part of like a show where you're like, I don't know what they're doing out there, I'm stuck behind stage.
Right. And sometimes it can be very hard. And I think it's wonderful that you have someone that's willing to do that kind of thing for you and kind of support you while you're at a show. So I think that's fantastic. Now, Nikki, we're almost at the end of our interview. We're going to play a little game once we're done with our questions. But I just have a few more questions I feel like we really need to know. One of them is, tell me something that people may not know about Nichole.
Something about Nichole. I think probably the most thing that people should probably know about me is that nothing I do is ever an act. And I think that, like, you know, I act like I'm a little bimbotic. Like I'm not a bimbo, but I like kind of act like I don't care about things, and I let things roll off my shoulder, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm so happy to be here. And like it's not necessarily an act, it's who I choose to be. But I think something that needs to be said is that, like, I pay attention more than people give me credit for. So just know that if you go to a drag show, if you go to my drag show, if you go to your drag show, no matter whose drag show you go, I think I speak for a lot of people when I say, like, we recognize more than you think we do. So if you're on your phone, we see that. You know, if you are at the bar when we're performing, we see that. We see a lot more than you think we do. So
it's absolutely true. And I think with especially even like the shit talk that sometimes happens that we're expected to put up with just because we're performers, and people will tell us, oh, that performance was sloppy, or the blah 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 blah. They'll kind of get shady and expect us not to be human underneath it all. And that's the thing we need to remember, guys. We may be putting on these big extravagant wigs and makeup, but you have to remember that we're human underneath this all. We all have feelings. And like Nikki said, those little actions where you're not paying attention to the performance, but you're at the show, or you're putting someone down, or you're doing those things that can be considered disrespectful. Think of how that actually affects a queen, not just because we're powerful, we look like powerful women, because underneath it, we have feelings and it hurts us sometimes. And we need to be aware of that, guys.
Right. Absolutely. I think the rules of, not rules, but, things of, respect. If you're going to come to a drag show and you're going to boast about coming to a drag show, pay attention. Like, put down your phone. If you want to record. But if you're going to come to a drag show, be present. I cannot stand people who come to a drag show and they want to sit up front and they're texting. Don't do that. Go to the back. I don't care.
And my pet peeve is when people are at a drag show and they all want to talk while we're on the microphone. And I have a thing where if I'm hosting, I'll do a thing where I'll count 1, 2, 3, and I make everyone shout, "Shut up," because in my opinion, if you're at a drag show and a drag queen's on the microphone, no one should be fucking talking, because
Yeah.
we're the performers. You're there. You've paid usually money to come in and watch us. Now be respectful and actually show that respect that, you know, that I'm entitled to.
Exactly.
Well, Nikki, what are we to expect next from you?
Well, I'm definitely planning on doing more jewelry. I still have the rest of my debutante career. Chris has his night career, so you're gonna see a lot of Chris and I doing a lot for charity, which we love doing. We're gonna do a lot of promoting because Chris and I are night and debutante, but we want to bring people into the court system because we want people to be involved and to raise money. So we do a lot of live streaming, we do a lot of promoting, we do a lot of Facebook, Instagram. I'm gonna be back at the Glamazons as soon as this is over. We're gonna be performing, 3 Fridays a month, either at Calfish or Spectrum. I have 2 brunches that I'm doing, so I'm going to be doing a lot for Glamazons. I have a lot of personal stuff going on as well. As long as this stupid COVID stuff doesn't interfere with that, I'm going to continue doing that. I have a lot of personal goals that I am so excited to share with you all, and some are drag related, some aren't. But no, I think the next big thing that's part of drag is going to be jewelry. So as soon as I get better at that, you're going to start seeing some NS jewelry or NSS jewelry.
And I will say this, if you're ever interested in sponsoring a small, web show, I would love to wear your jewelry and make sure everyone sees it.
Yes. I'm still, like I said, I'm still at the beginning phases, but yeah, it's going to be cute. I'm excited to get involved with that. And yeah, I'm only looking forward and going to get better at that.
Oh my gosh. Well, Nikki, I'm so excited to hear all that. I hate to say this, but that was most of all of our questions. How can people support you online?
I think just tuning in, like, watch what I'm doing. Like, I don't post too much, but if I'm posting something, it's important. So definitely any queens that are, not only me, but any queens that are, doing performances at home during this hard time when we can't go to a bar, if they promote themselves and they promote their Venmo, if you have the ability to tip them and, tip them. It doesn't really apply to only me. It applies to everybody. It applies to you. It applies to every performer in Eugene, Salem, down south, Portland. All of us are artists, and
so beautifully said.
Yeah,
so beautifully said. These are hard times, and we should be supporting anyone who's getting online, putting, these web shows, the people doing virtual drag shows, people doing drag queen reading. Even if you tip them $1, it's appreciated. And with that mentioned, I just want to let you all know that if you look in the descriptions of this video and you enjoyed kind of the interview between me and Nikki tonight, please feel free to tip Miss Nikki. Her Venmo, her PayPal, and her Cash App will be in the description, as along with my information. So if you'd like to throw a few little dollar bills at us, it's always highly appreciated. Now, Nikki, you survived all the questions, girl.
Did I, though? Or are there more questions?
Well, you have a game now. We have some scarier
games. I thought there might be. I was like, if I don't... I was like, if I don't get a game after all this, then what are all these shots for?
That's the party afterwards. That's the after party, girl. Well, we are going to play a game, and the first game is to get you a little lubed up. So, as I requested, I did ask for you to get some shots. Right now, we have 5 questions, and we're going to play a game called Truth or Drink. The goal of this game is I'm going to ask you a question, and you can either decide to answer the question, or you can take a shot. Now, right. I will say, I tend to get a little more shady with these questions. Are you ready?
I am ready. So, okay. I have all of these shots lined up for you.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, you're going to be ready for this, bitch. So I did also contact several of your friends, several of your coworkers in the drag world to kind of get some good questions. So hopefully we can throw you off a little.
I don't have any friends.
Yes. Okay, so Nikki, the first one is, who is your favorite glamazon?
Who is my favorite glamazon? There's 3 to choose from.
And there's one drink. So do you want to answer or look?
I'm going to take a shot.
Yes. Oh, well, if you're not going to answer, I'm going to say that my favorite glamazon is all of you. That way, none of you will beat me up.
Oh, that was an option?
Well, not for you. Only for me, bitch.
Oh, I was going to say, like, if that's an option, I'm my favorite glamazon.
Okay. So, has Nichole Sereine ever had sexy time in the dressing room? Oh, oh.
Well, I mean, maybe on a Thursday night, me and my boyfriend might have made out in a dressing room.
Oh, maybe a
Before
little
I had to
second
do a show.
base over the dress.
But he always tells people, like, Mark and Nick are not the same people, so I don't know if I should get jealous or not, but...
Ooh. Oh, I love it. Okay, well, you decided to answer that one, which I think is fantastic. Let's go into the third question. Have you ever been at a show, maybe had a little something to drink, and couldn't remember performing?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's a no biggie. The one time that comes to mind every single time is when my coworker had her bachelorette party. She invited me to her bachelorette party, but like the invite was to a glamazon show. So I was like, was I really invited, or like, did you just decide to have a bachelorette party at my show?
Okay.
And I took way too many shots, and literally they were calling my name when I took a Jaeger bomb shot, and I was doing tricks and flips, and I don't remember a single thing about it at all.
Do a shot.
Oh my God. Gotta love a little liquid confidence. I love it. Okay. For number 4, what is the worst thing that's happened to you in drag? Are you gonna take a shot?
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been a bad thing that happened then. Ooh, I love it. Are you feeling that buzz yet? Are you feeling buzzed yet, Nikki?
I took not feeling the buzz.
Ooh, well, we're almost done. We have one more question for Truth or Drink. And actually, we have 2 more. What is your true waist size?
God fucking sorry.
Oh.
God and damn it.
Oh, you can cuss. Well, fuck.
This one comes with a cucumber.
Ooh, dinner and a drink. Oh, well, girl, perfect. So I think you took 3 shots?
3 out of 5.
Oh my God, well, at least you answered 2 of them.
I did, you're welcome.
Well, perfect, girl. Now that we have you all lubed up, we're going to move into another game that I like to call Marry, Kai, or Cancel. So how this will work.
What?
Okay, so this is kind of like that classic game of marry, fuck, or kill.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah, girl. But we're going to do a little version called Marry, Kai, or Cancel. And I'm going to name 3 names, and you're going to tell me if you would marry them, fuck them, or cancel them completely.
Okay, but keep in mind, this is all relative, because I do have a partner. So this is all hypothetical. Hypothetical.
Yeah, absolutely. And for anyone watching, that your name might get brought up, remember this is for fun. This is not serious. No one wants to fuck you. No one
Right.
wants to cancel you. Well, someone might want to
Don't
fuck
slide
you.
into my DMs just because I said your name, because I'm taken. But let's play.
Oh, God. Crazy bitch. Okay, Miss Thing, for round 1 of Marry, Kai Kai, or Cancel, we have Monique LaFay, Sable Cities, and Caress and Slaughter.
Fuck. That's hard.
Okay. All right. So I would marry. Okay. So first of all, I love all 3 of these queens. I do. I love them all. I would probably. So you. Okay. So not you. Sorry. So Slatasia had a show forever ago where she interviewed people, and Caress wanted to fuck me.
Oh.
So I'd probably fuck Caress to give her like her dream or whatever. I disagree. But I would probably, if in a hypothetical world, I would give that to her because she said my name as who she wanted to fuck. So I'd probably just get out of the way. Monique LaFay and I get along really well. We have always had a good time, so I'd probably marry her and then cancel
Caress?
No, I would fuck Caress, cancel, or, yeah, sorry, I would, this is what the shots do to me. I would fuck Caress to give her her dreams, I would marry Monique, and I would cancel Sable Cities.
Oh, I don't think Sable Cities has ever heard the word cancel and her name in the same sentence, but I think
Probably
that's
not.
juicy.
But I've worked with her, and she's fierce, and I love her, and
Very fierce.
And I think she's had a career, and that's great, but I would cancel her just because of who she was being compared with. But I do love her, and I will forever.
Okay, well, let's go into round 2 then. For round 2, we have Daphne Bertha Storm, Diva Simone Slaughter, and Riri Caliente.
Oh, okay. No, it's not. I would probably. So, Diva's very open about her sex life.
Ooh.
And I would, knowing that, I would probably just fuck Diva, knowing about that life.
Oh,
I would probably have to marry Daphne because she has a really good job and she works from home, and I don't know how much money she makes, but like I think she can like buy a few things for me every once in a while. And then Riri Caliente, I know the least, but I do love her. But she would have to be canceled.
Oh, I'm sorry, Riri.
I love Riri, and she's done my show multiple times, but I just know her the least. And she has her own man, so she's good. The other 2 don't have a man, so I would be doing them a favor.
I would say I would probably marry Daphne too, just because I would want access to her drag closet.
Right? So I did a show with Daphne, and there was a silent auction. She bought this beautiful necklace, and I was like, hey, do you want to buy that for like your niece? Which I call myself her niece. And she said, no, I want to buy it for myself. But she has money, so I'm like, whatever.
Well, I love that. So, okay, perfect. Well, we only have one last round of Marry, Kai Kai, and Cancel. And then
I'm going to do a shot before that, though, just because I want to.
In fact, I'm going to take a little drink, too.
Okay. That's cranberry.
Cheers. Virtual cheers.
Oh, cheers, baby. I need more alcohol after this. All right.
I do not.
Round 3 of Marry, Kai Kai, or Cancel. We have Portland's very own Kimberly Michelle Westwood. We have Bitch Talk's very own Maliena Bitchcock. And we have LA's very own and Eugene's old Facetious Farce. Oh.
Okay, so say that again.
So we have Kimberly Michelle Westwood,
Okay.
Maliena Bitchcock and Facetious Farce.
All right. Well, Facetious canceled. The next two. I think that.
Oh, no.
I think that you're kind of freaky, so I'd probably fuck you, and I would probably marry Kimberly Westwood because she might be able to help me with my makeup over time.
Ah! Oh my
And
God, everyone wants
also,
to fuck
you're
me in this
welcome.
game.
What?
Everyone wants to fuck me in this game. You know, I played this with a few queens, and every queen that I put my name in here says they want to fuck me. I love it.
Well, I learned a new joke recently within the last night. It is, what is the difference between somebody who is erotic and somebody who is into fetish? And someone who is erotic likes the feather, and someone who is into fetish likes the chicken.
Ooh, I like that.
So,
Well, perfect, girl. I think you just
I feel like
all
you'd be like a chicken girl.
well, I'm more of a leather and whips kind of girl myself.
Well, I'm sure.
Well, girl, I love to tell you this. You survived our game. You survived Bitch Talk with Bitchcock, and I'm just so happy that you came on here and spilled all the tea with us.
I hope I spilled enough tea.
Oh, girl, you spilled all the tea. And if you enjoy Bitch Talk with Bitchcock and you've enjoyed this interview with Nichole Sereine, please give her a little extra money, give her a little tip, or maybe the whole thing if you really feel like it, with her Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal information down in the description. If you enjoy these regular shows and you want to support me also, please also send a tip my way. I always love a little something. Ooh. So if you're enjoying the show, please tune in for our next episode this Monday as I interview Portland's very own Nikki Entourage. This queen is old school and she's going to share all the secrets from the 80s and on. So make sure to tune in, everyone. Thank you again for supporting Bitch Talk with Bitchcock. And Nichole Sereine, we love you, girl.
I love you too. Thank you so much for having me. I had fun. I'm already slurring my words. Thanks to you.
Oh,
So,
yes.
everybody, please, 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 please be safe. Be considerate during this time. Stay inside if you can. If you, like I said at the beginning of this episode, if somebody you know has to go to work, give them some extra love because it's not an easy time. But I love you. And I can't wait to be at the bar again.
Absolutely, everyone. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. And again, thank you for watching Bitch Talk with Bitchcock. We love you all and have a great night.